Welcome back. We're we've done a basic two pump logic with auto rotation. Very basic, and we're going to now expand on this. There's various sites that want different auto rotation times. They may always want one pump to be lead, and they don't want it rotating. You've got DPs, differential pressure switches, as an input. If it's inverter driven, you may have an inverter pump 1 fault, inverter 2 pump fault. You may have run statuses from the inverter. There's different ways. So we're going to try and expand on this basic pump logic to incorporate other future requests by clients, let's say. So first of all, let's get rid of this lead lag runtime, this default block. And let's start by putting an enum, and we'll go enum writable, and we'll call it lead lag select. Change that to a capital L. You notice I don't use spaces. I'll come back to that later. Spaces are not good really in N4, and if you do need to use a space, then it's better to just use a underscore rather than a space. Let's take out the in10 and the in16, and we'll put it to set, and then we need to write in what this is going to be, this enum. So let's go to our range and click on there, and we'll use 0 and pump not used, and we'll put 1. Pump 1 lead, 2 pump 2 lead, and 3 auto changeover. And go OK. And save that. See the $20 there? That's why you don't use spaces, because it changes the space to $20. And other things like the hyphen, I mean, look at that, $20, 201, sorry, and then you got your $20 there. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. Let's go back, and let's set this at the moment to just be 3. Set, and we'll put it to a 3. Auto changeover. This can then be put on the graphics, and the engineer can select what he wants to do with this pump just by clicking on this on the graphics, and it will give him those 3 options. So let's just do an enum to a numeric. Not that I really need to do this. In fact, no, I won't bother. You're supposed to do an enum to a status numeric. In fact, yeah, let me do it. But you don't need to on M4. On the old AX, yes, but not on the M4. Status enum to status numeric. Let's bring that across there. So we've got a value of 3. Good. So now we'll do a greater than 2. block. So i.e. we want anything that's greater than 2. So we want to be in maths. Where are we? I don't know why I said maths. Greater than. So we'll put that as GT2. You also don't start with a number as well. That creates a bit of an issue. It looks, it's okay, it works, but visual, it becomes a problem if you start with a number. It gives a value before the number. 2. Save that. And then we would do a changeover, so a numeric switch. Numeric switch. Once all this logic's done, you can just use this for all your other sites. You haven't got to rewrite it all again. Changeover, and then equal to a 1 and equal to a 2 for the pumps, in case they use it as a select it themselves. So they want pump 1 to be lead. So equal to 1. Put that into there and put that as a 1. Different ways of writing logic. So you will find, if you look at different people that's wrote different software, they may not do it this way, they may do it another way. It just works for me. So there's no good way or bad way as such, as long as it works. It doesn't fall over, it's not going to be a problem. Equal to 2. And then we want to put in that 1 from there, or we could actually do it from there, that 3 from there, put that into false. So let's just select, set that to a 1. So we want to use pump 1 as a lead, and we've got the true there. So let's put that into pump 1, and then we put that into pump 2. Okay, so that let me just first of all put an AND gate in there to tie up to the pumps on and off. And pump 1. that into there. Not that one. That one into there. Cut that out. Put that into there. And then take the pumps on and off, enable. Put it into the AND gate there. Duplicate that for pump 2. Notice how it just automatically changes the number. You can't have two blocks titled the same in a wire sheet page. So if you open up another page and install this and put it, that's fine. So you can have this block that you're writing or this system you're writing, you can have it for many different pumps, but it's got to reside in its own folder. Right, so now what we want to do is we will just put a little bit of, we can put some, yeah, we'll put a little bit of just a text there. So we'll just put a note there for us. So note. And 0 equals off. 1 equals pump 1 lead. 2 equals pump 2 lead. And 3 equals auto changeover, which we've still got to write yet. We'll put a nice little background on there. Simple colour. And we'll put a border around it. Save. Okay, so now let's do the auto changeover. So I'm going to go to calendars. I'll do it from the, I've probably already got it there, but let's go to scheduler. And we'll put a trigger. So sometimes people want to change over at different times on different days. So I don't know, let's just pick this one, Tuesday 11 AM. They want the pumps to change over on Tuesday 11 AM. Maybe they're doing an alarm test on that day. Oh, there's always an engineer on site that day in case anything goes wrong. So let's add. Changeover. And we want it on a Tuesday. And any day. Any month. And any year. Okay. And then we'll put in 11 AM here. And we'll add it up to there. So that's 11 AM on a Tuesday. And we'll save that. So the next time this is going to change over is on the 25th of January at 11 AM. And today's Sunday the 23rd. Yeah, that works out fine for me. So let's fire a one shot. Get back to my kit control. Timers. And one shot. And auto change trigger. That's never triggered at the moment. Change that, and we'll put that into the fire side of it. And we really don't need all them pin slots showing. So we don't want an out knot, and we don't want an in. We're just going to do it there. So we'll fire that. Right then, so let's just put an OR gate in there. We need to change it later, we will do, but I just know that we're wanting to do a little bit more. So change over later from the starts on the pump pulses. Let me just put that into there, and let me just pin slots, add another slot there, C, and views AX slot sheet, and let's call these. So this is our changeover, auto changeover. And that's going to be pump 1 pulse on start. Spaces are okay for this one, by the way, this block, for the display name. See, let's put a 1 there at the end of that. That's because I've got something already called auto changeover. So what I can do, I didn't want to do that. I want to just do a right click, rename, take out that 1 and put an underscore. There you go. So yeah, we've got somewhere on this saying, oh yeah, changeover there. So hence it won't let me use the same number or the same wording. And then I'm going to stick a counter in here now. When I find my counter, where the hell are you? You can't be up there, you've got to be. There you go. I was right first time. I will call that auto lead lag. We'll expose the preset and clear, because I will need that later to clear that counter. And stick that into count up. And then we're going to go to an equals. I've got an equal there. I'm going to take that, pinch that, duplicate it, and we'll do equal 3. A and put that as a 3. Save. And go back. And what we'll do is when that equals 3, we will reset and we'll actually clear. Good. So we want to take that value there, that 2, and we want to put it to changeover. There. So that's going to be or a 1 or a 2, and that's going to put it to there. What else do we need to do? What else do we need to do? We got all these changeover stuff to do there. Let's just do a reset 1 hours just so because we can. Let's just do a 1 shot. We've got a 1 shot here. Duplicate. Reset 1 hours. And we can expose the fire for that. Pin slots, fire. Now I can actually put the fire to it if I wanted to, but I'm just going to just instead put the out to it. Just put that, rename that as rename as no DP in case there's no DP in there, and then we can start working on the DP side of it. We've got other things to do yet. We've got to link up these here. This pump 1 pulse on start, pump 2 pulse on starts, and then I've got some. Let's just do a failed one now for the driver fault. So Boolean writable. In fact, I can just copy that one up there, duplicate it, and pump 1 drive fail. Now I'm going to leave it, I'm going to put true and false back there and not on and off, because sometimes true can be healthy or true can be false, unhealthy, fault. So it depends on how it's been wired in the field for the inverter fault. So we don't know until we start commissioning, but in order to make life easier for us, we first of all we'll come to the decision that it's failed, it goes true just for the moment, but that's not fail safe. So the best way of doing it is true is healthy, but we don't know until it's wired on site. So what we'll do is we'll stick a NOT gate in there so it's easy for us to change it over when we're on site rather than having to rework the logic again. So reverse fail, P1 fail. And I'll put that into there. So then we've got the signal reverse. So if it's true and we want a false, we've got that. If it's a true and we want a true in the logic, we will actually run the logic from there. So I'm going to put an OR gate in here now. And issue P1. And I'll work on a false there. So we'll have a drive views AX slot sheet. So we'll call that as a drive fault. And we'll call the other one as no flow from the DP. And then we need a DP, so or one status. So let's just copy that, duplicate, and we'll call that run status. And we definitely know that is going to be true, is going to be flow. We know that for us, i.e. or inverters running. So start, no, I'll put flow, and I'll put stop, no I won't, I'll put no flow. Mainly for the graphics, so we can pick that up on the graphics and we can take that point across and it will show flow or no flow on the graphics. So we've got a one status as flow. Again, I'm going to put a NOT gate in there. You see why in a bit. Put that to my in. So I'm going to take from my false to no flow up there, and then I'm going to put an AND gate, and start timer P1, and take my, I want 3 points on that one, and I'll name them, make it easy to follow the logic. So point A, pump 1, 1, P1 fault, stroke no flow, and pump reset in case we're matching it. into 0.1 volt. And we will take it from P1, this one here. We could take it from here or we could take it from here, but I rather take it from here because that's what we'll do. That'd be the bit that'd be overridden on the graphics if we do put it to the graphics. So I'd rather take it from there. And then we need a delay. So we need a timer, a Boolean delay. There we go. And then start timer 0.1 in. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make it so that can be adjustable via the graphic. So we're going to expose the on delay, and we're going to take the out there. We don't need that. So it's currently for 1 second, which is too short. You want roughly about 15-30 seconds. So what we'll do is we'll put in now a numeric writable, and we'll call it fail delay seconds. Add that. Pin slots. Take out the 10 and the 16 and set the set. And set. Go OK. Now what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to set the minimum and maximum on here. So we don't want a decimal point, and I'm going to put minimum. I don't want them going below 5 seconds, and I really don't want them going above 30, but let's just set it to 60 so we can use a minute, and we can set the units to seconds. So time, seconds, save. Now what I'm also going to do with that is take it out so it can't be overridden. So let's just first of all actions, set, and we'll put that to 15 seconds. But if you right click that and actions, you can see this emergency override, emergency auto, override auto, and set. Well, I only want to have the set. I don't want this to ever be emergency overridden in any way whatsoever. Now I don't know if you know about, in fact let's show you about these points here. So in 16 right through to in 1, and you can see that in 8 is not being used, and you can see in 1 is not being used on this writable. That is because in 1 is the emergency override, and that is the other override. So you can't put your wire to in 8 or in 1 because it's used in the software, but you can put it to in 9, in 10, and in 16. Some people put all their logic into in 16. I like to use in 10, and actually for backnet, if it's coming a signal coming from backnet, I normally use in 9. Just so I know the difference, that okay, I've got a wire in 9, that must be coming from backnet. Okay, in 10, that's coming from my logic, and one supersedes the other. So if I put say a false into in 10, but I put a true into in9. We're on a, sorry, if I put a 30 second into in10 and I put 15 seconds into in9, that will show up at 15 seconds. And if I put that a 15 second into in15 and I've got, for example, 30 seconds in in10, that will show up as 30 seconds, because it's the lower the number, the more the priority, the higher the priority. Hence, emergency override is in 1, and I can actually just show you that. If I just expand that and go down to fail delay seconds, actions, emergency override, and let's just do 50 seconds. See how it's gone into in1 there, overridden with the 1. And if we do it for, so we'll take that off, actions, emergency auto, it's gone back to normal. I mean, if I do actions, override, and I'll set that to 20, and I can set it to permanent, or I can actually set it where I only want it overridden for 1 minute to 20, or I can actually do custom, and I can say, well, I want it just overridden for 10 seconds, just to show you this. He says, it's just on a fallback there. Let me just do that again. Actions, and I'll just do override permanent this time. I'll do a 20. There's your 20 seconds in there, and we've got an 8 to show you that it's actually in 8 that's doing the override. Actions, auto, and let's just actions, do the override again, and I do it to 20, but I do custom, and I'll do 10 seconds. There we go. Don't know why I didn't do it before. And then you find after 10 seconds that will go back to 15, which it does. But I don't want to show this emergency override on these, so what I do is I can go into AX slot sheet, and where the emergency override is there, I can right click it, not double click it like I've just done there. You can right click it, config flags, and I can put it to hidden. Right click, config flags, hidden. Right click, config flags. Now Vicom Pro, there's a tool in Vicom Pro that would do this for you on as many blocks as you want, without you having to do individual ones. But once you've done one individual one and you copy that out for what you want, then you won't need to start hiding them again. So now if I right click that, actions, I've only got the set, which is what I want. Now then, the thing is, now this 15 is actually in milliseconds, because that's how fast this system works. So we're going to have to change that. So let's put a multiply block. Sorry, that's 15 seconds, but the system wants it in milliseconds. So I need to change that 15 second to milliseconds. Change to milliseconds. Put the 15 in there. times it by 1,000. Save. So we've got 15,000 now as an output, and that is going to go into my on delay. $15. Right, so from my on delay, I want to go to a Boolean writable. And we'll call this pump 1 failed. And we'll take the let's just add an and in there. And we'll do a latch P1. Take that from there, put it into there. I'm going to leave in 16 exposed. I'll show you why in a bit. And then we'll do a views AX slot sheet. We'll do a reset. And we'll do a fail. And we'll take that fail when it will be a fail. We'll put that into there. Okay, and let's just do our reset block. So let me just take a one shot. Let me duplicate that. Call it reset. We'll expose the fire, and we'll expose the in. And we'll give it 2 seconds. I'll leave 0.5 there, 2.5 seconds then. Save. And I better give that other one 2 seconds as well. Save. And I'll give my reset, my 1 hour's reset. I'll give that 2 seconds. Not that it needs it. It will do it in 0.5 of a second, but I can see it. I won't see it 0.5 of a second, but 2 seconds I will see it actually change. Right, let's just go to an OR. Put that to an OR in case I need to do another reset from somewhere else. So reset pulse. Okay. is going to have in it views AX slot sheet. We do a reset inside logic or block, a reset inside block or page, strategy, reset inside strat, and we'll do a reset outside strat, i.e. we can bring that composite, that point out, and we can send a reset to that block. So that's our reset inside the strat. And I'm going to put a NOT gate in there to give me a true signal out. Rev, reset, reverse reset. So I'm working on a true signal, and then when I press reset, that true will go to false and reset the block. And we can put that into there. Latch P1, reset, fail. That failed. Now, what I want to do is start the timer. So the start timer, the out there, I'm going to put into N16. So that start timer, pump 1 into N16. So that the reset overrides it all, but yeah, that will work. So I'm just trying to think whether that will work as well, but yes, it will. So we got the one status flow there. We've got pump 1 drive fail. Let's just duplicate that. And let's duplicate that as well. And let's duplicate that. And take that as well. And that. And that. Duplicate. I'll just put this down here for a moment. So that's going to be rename pump 2. Take out that. Let's put a 1 at the end because I've duplicated it all. And take out that, rename that pump 2. Issue pump 2 fine, start timer pump 2 fine, that runs into, so it's this one here. Rename. Pump 2. Failed. That text in there wants to change. Pump 2 1. Pump 2 fault. And then then I can take the no flow from the inverter, which I've done there, and put it into there. I can take the pump 2 run from there and put it into there. I can take the reset from there, put that into there, and take the reset from there and put that into there, because I missed that one out, and then take the reset from there, put into there. Okay, we're starting to look a little bit like it's working now. Right, let's do an AND gate for checking. We started up here for this one. Running P1 and enable and flow we'll put in there. Enable and flow. And equal to 3. No, I want to take it from my primary pump so we know it's enabled. So I'll take it from there. And my flow, where's my flow, which is my run status DP, whatever you want to call it. Take the true from there and put it into there. So we've got enabled and we've got flow. And then let's just do a duplicate that, and we do a pump running, so no, we just put pump 1 there, and I'll just put running in front of it. Running pump 1. Put that into in 10. Try to keep it neat and tidy because it's easy to follow. And we're going to be using this block on all our jobs, so I actually forget when I'm writing logic, I will forget what I've done, so it's nice to comment it all, so it's easier when I get back to say, oh yeah, I remember that, yeah. So pump 1 running, just leave that as it is at the moment. I know it's running because it's got enable there, but I'm just putting it there for that, and let's just do a pump 2 running. So let's take that one and that, duplicate, shouldn't need to change any names, and take pump 2, enable, and take the same flow, do is I'm going to put, in case it's a run from the run status or DP. Run status or DP. Right, we've done the pump failed there and pump failed there. So let's take that pump failed and let's have a delay on there. Just a little one, 3-second one, something like that. Just in case the flow switch is, if it's a flow switch and not a DP, or it's just on the border, i.e. let's have it for 3 seconds failed and then we know it's failed. So I want a Boolean delay, and we'll put it change over delay P1. So pump failed. So normal fails. Let's put that into the in, and let's have 3 seconds on delay. Seconds on delay. And what we'll do with that is we'll expose the on delay of 3 seconds. We don't want the user to change it, but we'll expose it so we can see what it is. On delay, and we don't need the sorry, we don't need the out, we need the out not opposite, that is i.e. like a not gate. And then we'll put that, expand that a bit so we can see what it is, and we'll take that out not, and we'll put it into change 1 over delay. I just need to change something. I need to add in there another block between the counter and the OR gates. It makes sense in a minute. And it's an AND block. Change over. Probably already used that. It's probably going to put a 1 at the end of it. It did. So what I'll do is I'll rename that and just put a small 0. And that should work. Now, this is going to have auto changeover as our AX slot sheet. We're going to go auto changeover, changeover delay 1, changeover delay 2. caps lock. Just press it. Shouldn't have done. Let's just move all this across to here for now. Give me a bit of space here. And move that across a little bit. Expose that point. Put that into there. Put that false into auto changeover. Now we're talking. And then change over to delay, I think, from there. To there. And then the same. From there. Into there. Now we've got following that through on that logic, that's latched as pump 1 failed, but nothing's happening at the moment. Let's see what's going on here. So that's failed at the moment. Let's just hit a reset. Okay. So I've done the start timer and I've got it for start timer P1. That needs to go to my pulse. And the same for start timer P2. That needs to go to my pulse. Just tidy this up a bit. What have I done there? What an idiot. I hope if I put that to the right place. Move that across there like so. Okay. Let's expand that a little bit so we can see what it's called. Okay, we're getting there. We're still not finished yet, but we are getting there. Just going to pause this a minute and have a think. Okay. I want to know when both pumps are in fault, so we're going to look at this one next. I'm just move that so I can see that nib going there, that wire going there. So I want to take both pump fails and put them into an AND gate, because if we've got both pumps failed, then we've got a serious problem. So let's just pumps fail and fail P1 and fail P2, we'll call it. Views AX slot sheet and fail P1, fail P1 and fail P2. So take the pump 1 failed there, from that output there, into there, that into there. So if we've got both pumps failed, we're going to come out with a, so let's have now a Boolean, so numeric, Boolean writable, and both pumps failed. And we take that, put it into there. And we need to put an alarm on there, as well as alarm on pump 1 failed and pump 2 failed. So let's just go pin slots. Get rid of that. And we'll go to the text up here and healthy, and capital letters, pumps failed, exclamation mark, save. And then we want to put a Boolean alarm in there. Right, we need to put an alarm on that. So let's go down to both pumps failed. Hang on, before we put an alarm on, let's just do our alarms, because we've done nothing with our alarms on this system yet. So services, alarm service. So you get the default alarm class as normal. Pin slots, let's just expose that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one for the default alarm class. And then what we'll do is we'll duplicate that and we'll rename it as critical for critical alarms, and we'll come back later on, or we'll do another video with setting up the alarms. Probably be better doing another video later with how to work with your alarms. But let's now go to alarms. So there's my alarms module, extensions, and we're going to go for Boolean change a state alarm, because that's what it is, it's a Boolean. We'll drop it into there. We'll just leave it as it is, I'm not going to rename it. And so, 2 off normal, let's do this in capitals, both pumps failed. And it's going to be the display name of both pumps failed there, but I want it also to show what folder it's in, or what pump it is. because naturally we can rename that. So let's copy and paste that. So the parent is the both pumps failed block, and then we've got above that the two pumps logic with auto. So let's just put parent again there. Don't want that in capitals. Parent dot. So both pumps failed parents. And I can both. No, we don't want to put both pumps healthy because there still could be a pump healthy, a pump failed and one healthy. So we'll leave the normal text at the moment. And do we want to put any delays on the alarms? No, we don't, because we've already they failed. End of story. So let's save that. Let's now copy that. We haven't set it to critical. We need to set it to critical as the alarm. So we don't want default alarm class. We want to move it to critical. Save. And while we're just quickly on alarms, let's just expand that and change critical. I'll do another one, duplicate that, and we'll call it maintenance alarms. And then go back to that one, copy that, and pump 2 failed, paste it in there. Leave it default. Click into there, and we'll change that to, we don't need to be capitals, pump 2 failed. And this time we'll change the maintenance. I can find where my mouse is. It's there. Change the maintenance, critical to maintenance. Save that. And then copy that. And then we'll put that into pump 1 failed. Paste. Okay. And then we change the text inside the off normal to say pump 1 failed. And we can actually change this and put pump 1 healthy. And where we've got the, not the drive failed, pump 2 failed, pump 2 healthy. Right, let's go back to our logic. In fact, what I'll just do quickly is we'll change that to CT pumps. And then the next one can be VT pumps, etc., etc. So let's views, wire sheet. So what I need to do now is change that pump 1 failed text, so it's not saying false. So false is healthy, and that is fail exclamation mark. You don't have to use exclamation mark, it just stands out, and you don't have to use capital letters. I just liked it, that's all. Again, everyone writes logic and does it differently. And let's just go to that one. And because I've already wrote it, I can actually just click there. And it automatically will put that in for me. Save. And back. Okay, so we got a healthy there. We got a healthy there. Pump 1 running and pump 2 running. So let's just change that text in case we use it for the graphics. And running. Stopped. Save that. Go back. Just tidying up a little bit now on the blocks, because this is going to, like I said, you're going to be using this all the time on all your jobs, so it's nice to have it all displaying right. So what I want to do now is I want to give the option of having an auto reset if both pumps failed, but give them an option where they can use the auto reset or they don't. So let me just move this up a bit. Or you've got the option in your logic. So let's put a Boolean writable down here. New Boolean writable. Pump logic auto manual reset. So it can actually auto reset or manual reset. So let's go false we'll have as non-reset, and true we'll have auto reset. And actions, and we'll set it to non-reset at the moment, which is probably the default option, but you never know, the people might want to have it auto reset and keep going between the pumps, try and get it working. Let's take out the in 10 and in 16 and we'll put the set in there, and because we can, we're going to take out, as I showed you before, the emergency override and everything like that. So config flags, let's remove, let's hide that point. We did it in a config, we did it in the numeric one block. So we'll do it in this one as well. So you can only use a set, or the client can only use a set if you expose this to the graphic. Okay, so when I right click that now, actions, I've just got the set, which is what I want. So let's put that into an AND gate. So I don't want kick control. alarms anymore. I want my kit control back. And I want an AND gate. And pumps failed. And we'll go views. AX slot sheet. And we'll name that as fail. And we'll name that as auto. So with it being false, it's not going to automatically. And then we fire a one shot to send a reset to the system. So I'll take that one there, I'll duplicate it and fire reset. So stick that into auto. Stick that into my in there. That's set at 2.5 seconds, so I'm alright with that. Let's just expand that a little bit so we can see the full wording. We can take that up a bit. And we can take that up a bit so it looks nice and neat and tidy. And we take that and we'll put it into our reset so it fires it. And then we take the output of that, so when pumps fail, we put it into there. So it's set to non-reset at the moment, so let's give that a play. Let's put a little text underneath it for us, just as a reminder. So note, I think that's going to, because I've already done the note, so it's going to be note 1. And we put use for manual stroke auto reset. We'll put it a background of like a light red. It's something you've got to be wary about using. You don't want pumps to go on and off, on and off, on and off. But there may be a case where that needs to happen. It keeps trying, resetting itself. So let's just put that. Yeah, that looks good. Let's play with this and see whether it works now. So there's our run hours, so that's 1 hour 6 minutes on that one. So let's see if we can reset them, which of course we can. Actions fire. So they've gone down now, so that's 10 milliseconds that's running for, 0 milliseconds, but naturally it's enabled, so it will continue counting even though it's just saying 10 there. Need to do something with this DP as well in a minute. We'll give another option like we've done at the below. So we've got pump 1 running, so let's fail pump 1. Emergency inactive. Emergency inactive. Is that one? Emergency active. That's true. Why did that go to on? Just out of curiosity, why have I done that? False. Probably got to do the same with the other one as well. Let's just see whether that's, yeah, false. True and false. So we want to get that to be a true. So let's reverse that. Actions. In fact, let's take emergency auto off and let's just use the actions set. And let's put that to false. So false is going through there, so that's now giving me a true there. Giving me a true there. So that's giving me a true there. I've got a 15-second delay before that will actually trigger. So let's just wait, now it's triggered. So I've got a fail there. But I've got a reset and fail there. What's going on there? So reset and fail, so that's giving me a false. So why is that saying healthy? Why is that saying healthy? So that's going to be normal. By the way, so that's going to be normal. So I've got a fail there. I'm missing something. What am I missing here? Okay. I think what's going on here is because I've got lead leg select. Let's just set that to auto changeover. So we're using pump 1, pump 2. Let's just rename them. Pump 2. Okay, already exists. Rename. Underscore 2. Rename. Underscore 1. So we're running on pump 2 because that's now failed. Let's put that back to normal. Set to true. Reset everything. Fire reset. So it's using this pump anyway because it's run the minimum. Not that I'm taking that into consideration, so it shouldn't be. So auto changeover is working on pump 2 first. Let's fail pump 2. Set to false. So pump 2 is now being disabled. But we're not running pump 1, which is not right. So we're not getting that. We've got a 0 switch in there. Why have we got a 0 switch in there? We should have a 1 in there. Because pump 1, pump 2 has failed, healthy there. That shouldn't be healthy. Let me have a look at this. Let me first of all put in that 15-second delay into there, which I missed out. And let me just check this counter and put in a preset value of 1. Save that. Back out. And I wanted to see what's going on, so let me just move that a bit further across. That bit further across. I can come down a bit. Let's see what's happening with these, because I can't see. Because I've put too long a text in it. I can't see what's false. Actions, reset, so fire. So we're on auto changeover. But we don't have a 1 in there. Let me take out that preset. Make sure that we have got a 1 in there. That. Put that back to normal. One's running, failure drive. Pump 2 is now running. Failure drive. So we should. 15 seconds. Right, I see where the issue is here. The issue is this true here. So when the drive's healthy, We want a false. We don't want a true. False is there's our no flow, so our no flow there. We want, when there's a flow, we want a true. Oh no, sorry, we want it to be like that. And then if there's no flow, so then goes true. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of changing here. And I'm going to put a OR gate in there. These out. Print slots. In 16 we don't want. Put that in there. Put that in there. Put that into there. So false is healthy. Or no fault. And that is fault. And we'll do the same with this one here. No fault, no fault. Let's reset system. So auto changeover pump 2, pump 1 disabled. Let's just fire a changeover to see whether that works okay. Actions, fire. So the time schedule basically has got to 11 o'clock. Yeah, so that's changed over. Let's fire it again. Actions, fire. Yep, changed over. Let's try it a few times. Changed over again. Actions, fire. So okay, the changeover works fine. There's no issue there. So we're on pump 2, so let's fail pump 2. So there's no fault at the moment. Actions, set, and let's have a fault on pump 2 from the inverter. Changed over straight away to pump 1. That's okay. So let's take the fault off at the moment. So there's no fault on inverter 2. And put a fault on inverter 1. I could have just done emergency active and overridden it, but I'm just doing it the long way. And pump 2 started again. Now then, but we're going to now put a fault on pump 2 and pump 1. So they're both in fault now. Pump 2 is still running. And it shouldn't be, because they're both in fault. There we go. So that was waiting 15 seconds. Still running though. We've got a P2 alarm. So why didn't we get the alarm when pump 1 was in fault? Because it's not asking for it. Let's just take that out. 1. And we'll take the 1 out of that one as well. So that's now timing 15 seconds. So that's both pumps failed, both are in alarm, yet we're still enabled on that pump. That pump is still giving me a 2, which we really don't want. We want to switch them pumps off because they've both failed. Mind you, we've got a DP still. Let's just turn the DP off. So there's no flow. You wouldn't expect pump 2 to carry on running. And yet it is. Because it's getting a 2 from here, which is our changeover. But what we really want to do is we want to stop that from running. We can easily sort it out by putting in the invert that signal. Both pumps failed. In fact, we'll do that anyway. Let's just stick a NOT gate in there. Stop pumps. take it from here, seeing it's the end of the circuit as such, and we can put that into the AND gate there, into drive C, and we can take that one and put that into drive C, and that way we just stop the pumps completely. And just so we know where it's come from, we know that's the on and off. B is the selection, so views, AX slot sheet, put that as enable, no, on and off. And we'll put that as selected. And we'll put that as both failed. On and off selected and both failed. And we'll do the same with this. Views, AX slot sheet. On, stroke off, selected. Failed. And what we can actually do as well, we might as well use the failed from the pump input. So pump drive failed, so we can take this NOT gate here, and that's for pump 1, so we can actually put that into drive D and just have P1 failed, and then we don't need the both pumps, but we might as well just keep it in. P1 failed. And drive 2, that one there, put that into there. And I don't want to do that, I want the text. Views, P2 failed. So now, well, what I'm thinking is, do I take it from there, or do I take it from my pump 1 failed there? Decisions, decisions, decisions. Where do I take that from? Because that's got a reset built into there. So I'm going to take that and take it from there. From the end rather than the start of the logic. Just pin slots and open up that pin slot. That one and that one. And the same with this one. Now someone may have a better way of doing this. I'm naturally just working on the fly here with this, so it's not tried and tested. But it's giving you an example of how to do the logic and how I'm thinking when I'm doing the logic. Right. So let's see what happens if I actually, the DP stuck on for example. Let's go back to emergency auto. So it's still giving me a flow switch, but it's still not working, which is fine. If I take the fault off the inverter, so there's no inverter fault for pump 1. Nothing's happening because we're in manual reset. Good. Take that off. Emergency set to no fault. Pumps are still not running because we're in a manual reset. Good, good, good. So if we reset that, fire, then nothing is working. No pumps are started. Could it be because the DP stuck on? Pumps, we're asking for pumps to be on. Ah, that's the reason why the P1 failed. Because it's false. So we actually need that to be a true. And I could really still take it, would like to take it from the end of the logic. So that is going into this block here. So I'm going to take that out not, which goes over to there. I'm going to take that true, because I need these to be both be true when everything's healthy. So I'm going to take that true there and put it into there, and take that true there and put it into there. So that works. So we're enabled pump 2 at the moment. So we've got pump 2 running. So let's fail pump 2. Pump 1 comes straight on, what we expect. Still got 15 seconds there on that timer though, before we have the alarm. 15 may be a bit too much, but we'll leave it as it is. And then we'll fail the second drive. Maybe just do emergency active. So that's now in fault. So pump 1 is still running. It's failed, so we know it's not running. We're still giving it an enable signal until that comes on and it disables. Okay, I could live with that. Let's now try it with the auto reset. So emergency auto and actions set to no fault. Reset everything. Fire. Now let's change that to auto reset. See what happens. Actions set to auto reset. scroll up a bit so we can see what's happening with the pumps, even though we have got the running commands down here, the running blocks that we can see, but I'll just see what's happening on the output. So that's enabled. Let's fault this drive. Pump 2's come on. Now it's going to be 15 seconds before we actually get the alarm coming on because of this delay here. Let's fault the second drive. Again, it's going to be 15 seconds. So we've got pump 1 off, pump 2 on. Both disabled. Now both automatically reset themselves as well with this block. We're still in fault, so it's trying to run pump 1, but we still got a fault. So 15 seconds later, we get an alarm again, which we have. So it's now trying to do pump 2. Alarm. Both pumps failed. Reset. It's now running pump 1 again. Alarm. That went alarm and then went back to enable again. I need to look at that bit. Now it's running pump 2. Right, let's change this alarm to something like 5 seconds. Set to 5 seconds. Pump 2 is enabled. Now disabled. Now enabled, disabled. I need to find why I'm getting an enable there. Pump 1's. So let's have a look what block it is that re-enables it. A bit fast for me there. All true. And both failed go to true. Okay, so what we're going to do here is minimum active time. I'm just going to put something like 5 seconds in there. Now let's see what happens. Enabled, disabled, still disabled, still disabled, enabled, disabled, enabled, disabled, enabled, disabled. Okay, that works. So now let's go take that and change it back to, because that would just be crazy to have them pumps keep trying like that and putting alarms on. It's not going to be good for the alarm list. What have I done there? Set to non-reset. So let's put the inverters back to healthy. So there's no issues with the inverters. So now what reissue we need to do now. So both pumps failed, the state failed. Let's reset that. Normally I'd have that to the outside of the block and put a reset on there. Same thing, it's an OR gate. So that's all reset. We've got flow. Enabled pump 1. Right, let's say we haven't got flow. Pump 2's trying. Gone to disabled. And locked itself out. Which is what we want. So yeah. That looks good. What I want to do though is sometimes you haven't got a DP or a run. So we need to give ourselves a little bit of an option here. So I'm going to spoil my the way I've laid this out a little bit now, but I do want the option to not have a DP in the logic, i.e. if we've got a situation where we haven't got a differential pressure switch or we haven't got a flow switch, and I want the option to put something in there to stop that. So I'm going to take that, duplicate it, and we go flow or no flow switch. So false will have as flow switch installed, and true no flow switch. So you can see where I'm going to go with this. I'm just going to use a numeric selector here now. So a numeric selector. No, it's actually going to be a Boolean switch, not a numeric switch. So false flow switch is installed. So if it's false, we're going to take that flow switch and put it into false, and we're going to just take that, cut it, and take it from there into there. As simple as that. So I'm just looking at ways of trying to just tidy it up. See if I could move that down there, move that up there. Move that across. So the true bit then, if there is a flow switch installed, that's where our OR gate up here comes into play. This one here, this baby. Put that into there. So if there's flow switch installed, we use this block. If there's no flow switch installed, we'll use that OR gate up there. Logic will still work, it just won't stop on the flow switch because it was none installed, but it will still stop or change on a drive failure. So while we've got this here, let's just bring some points out of the, because if you look at the logic currently, the logic block, that's all we've got. Pump 1, pump 2 and start stop. Well, we need a little bit more than that now to add to it, so we're going to do some composites. So we can leave the time scheduler in there. Auto lag can still stay in there because we can put the graphic to that. The faults have got to come out, the flow switch has got to come out, and an external reset's got to come out. And I think that's going to be it for now. So let's composite. Pump drive 1. Pump 1 drive. I think that's a fail, which it will be, but it's just, yeah, a fail. So we want that out. I'll move them all up in a bit, tidy it up. We want the DP, but I'm just going to do pump 2 drive failed first, bring that out. Then I'll bring the DP out. Where are we? DP. Run status or DP? I'm looking for run status or DP. Come on, where are you? Oh, there you are. Staring me right in the face. Let's move them up to pump 1 drive fail, pump 1 out. No, we'll have the inputs all at the top. So let me just go OK on that. Views, AX slot sheet. So that was pump 1 inverter status, stroke fail. In case the status they think it's going to be a run. Pump 2 inverter status fail. Pump 3 flow switch stroke DP switch. Let's put some more composites so it's easier to see what's going on with the system, or the alarms at least. So we'll take pump 1 failed, pump 2 failed, and both pumps failed out with us. So composite. Pump 1 failed. Now this is going to be the output out of it. Out part. Pump 2 failed. Out part. And both pumps fail. Out. Okay. View AX slot sheet, and that's going to be pump 1 failed. It's going to say there's a pump 1 status. Pump 2 status. Both. No, not both pumps. Status. So now when we look at that, views, wire sheet. Don't want to do that. I'm going to look at logic, wire sheet. Oh, hang on a minute. While we're in here, I haven't put that reset pulse out. So we've got an external reset pulse. So let's composite that. And let's put the reset pulse your gate there, and it's actually that one that we want out. Move that up to the top. Yeah, have it right at the top. And views, AX slot sheet. Reset pumps. What I think I might just do as well is just take out pump 1 and pump 2 running times, so we can just see it from there rather than that coming into the logic. So pump 1, discrete totalizer, elapsed time. Now that's going to give me a numeric. That's not actually going to be, no, we won't use that one, because that's going to give a value that we won't understand. It's just be a millisecond. We don't want that. And then we'll go to this one here, discrete totalizer, and that one there. So that's pump 1. We'll put that under pump 1 out. I'm going to put pump 1 failed under pump 1 out. I'm going to put that under pump 2 out. Failed. Okay. Views. AX slot sheet. And that is pump 1 active time. Pump 2 active time. So now let's look at that. Views, wire sheet. Okay, so we've got our input and output. I'm wondering whether we should do an automatic reset once the system is turned on and off. Won't be harm in doing that. So when you actually turn it back on, i.e. on a time clock, it just automatically sends a reset just to reset anything that may be in fault, and if it's still in fault, it's going to go into fault. So yeah, let's do that. So where we've got our on and off there, we want to fire a one shot. So we can do either put a one shot there, or we can actually use that in an OR gate, that into an OR gate, but sod it, I'd rather put a one shot there and add it into that OR gate there. So it's got its separate one shot. So duplicate that, so reset on start. I'm just going to take that now before I put it up there and put that into there. And let's mark what it does. Reset on start. If we don't want that, we can always just cut it but leave it in the logic for future jobs. So there's my pumps on and off, my main coming in, so I can just put that to there and leave it like that. So when I go back to the outside now, we've still got alarms, but as soon as I activate that, it resets the system. Pump 1 is on filter. Pump 2 hasn't come on though. Why hasn't pump 2 come on? Oh, both pumps failed. Did I have because of the flow switch, because I've said flow switch is installed and there's no flow switch, i.e. it's not turned itself on. So let's put that back to auto, and we'll do, well, we've got to put that to auto, so we've got to give it a flow. Once we've activated it, we've got to give it a flow, hence that's why they've both gone into fault. So let's just say no flow switch is installed for this one at the moment. Set, and no flow switch is installed. So now I could have done a reset there, but I'm just going to turn this off and turn it back on again, and that will automatically do my reset for me. So pump 1 is running, and that will stay running unless you put a fault on the inverter. So we can use that same input here as a test. Let's put a fault on the inverter. 1 has gone off, pump 2's on, and we've got a fail for pump 1, but pump 2's running nicely. Let's stick the fault on, inverter fault on pump 2 as well. All gone wrong. Both pumps failed, pump 1 and pump 2 status, pumps are disabled. That's what we want. That is what we want. So let me just put that to actions, emergency auto, actions set to false, because false is healthy as far as the inverter is concerned. Take them 2 out. Actions, just set it to an on. This can be a time scheduler, whatever you want. On and off switch. Everything cleared. And that's running. And it's also got inside duty rotation. Whatever day you want. And you can fire that, change it, you can fire it here with this one shot here to change it. And then you've got the option of having pump 1 constantly as a lead and pump 2 as a lag, or pump 2 as a lead and pump 1 as a lag. Auto changeover, I don't know why you would not want any pumps, but it's still there, the option to turn it completely off. Say they're working on it or whatever and we don't want the system to actually switch it on, then they can change it to off completely and it's not going to switch them pumps on at all. In fact, let's just do that and then we can call it a day. It's been a long video, this one, but at least it shows you how to do the logic. I should say pumps not used, really. Yeah, they've disabled, but pump not used, and they've gone into alarm. Maybe we don't want it to go into an alarm. So views, let's just have a quick look at that and just change that wording to pumps modify not used. But I certainly don't think we want an alarm. If we selected pumps not used, so be it. Now I'm wondering whether that went into alarm, because let's just reset that. We want pumps not used, actions, fire. Yeah, we got the true there on that one, pump 1 fault because of no flow. We've got the switch to true, no flow switch. That's the reason it's gone into fault, because we're reversing it. It works fine, but not when you're actually not running a pump. So what we want to do there is that false that's going in there, we could actually take that out completely. We don't need that bit there. All we need to do is put that to a true. That stays as a true, and then that stops those going into alarm. So that's going to be happy. And it's always sending a true because we've got no flow switch. And then if we put this back to, oh, we won't put it back, we'll put it to, we'll set it to pump 1 lead. So pump 1's now on. What I will do while I'm here with this logic is views AX slot sheet, because I noticed the emergency thing came up. In case they're using it on the graphic, I don't want people putting stuff into emergency overrides. So I'm limiting the engineer or the client, so that they can't emergency override. They can just select it from the set config flags. Config flags. Good. So now, if I right click that, actions, I've just got the set. So that will always run pump 1. Always run pump 1. Because we're not using the elapsed active time to actually do any calculations. So that's always going to run pump 1 first, and then if pump 1 fails, it will run pump 2. Let's fail pump 1. Emergency active. No, it hasn't. It hasn't put 2 on because we're not in auto changeover. I don't think we would ever need that pump 1 lead, to be honest then. But what we could do is we could set it so it runs pump 2 now. So we've got a true there, equal to true. It's gone into fault, of course. So what we could do is we could put a bit of an AND thing in here to link a lot of things together. So my thinking, if we do want to run pump 2 when pump 1 fails as a lead, we do a couple of things here. We take the bit that's saying pump 1 only as the lead. So this block will only work when pump 1 is actually a lead. It won't work on anything else. Pin slots. Let's just expand these to see what else we can. So we'll take pump 1 failed. So I want a true on that, so I can take it from there. And there's really, I'll put that into that. There's really nothing else I could take, I don't think. This is the only 2 items. Yeah, it would only need them 2. So let's just rename this. Rename this as something that we can understand. We'll put PMP1 selected and failed. Pump 1 lead selected and failed. Pin slots. Let's just take out the extra C and D that I put in thinking I might need them. So I was thinking about putting pump 1 drive fail into it as well, but there's no need. It comes to there at the end of the day, so there's no point. So that is views, AX slot sheet, pump 1 select, pump lead, because I'm going to be duplicating this, and lead failed. Lead fail. I don't need the ED on the end. So where do we put that into? So there's our true, and we need to activate pump 2. So we could do the auto changeover bit. So that's one that is done at the moment. So it's false. It's done a 1 there. So we could put it into there, I reckon. Probably get it wrong, but let's just see. We've already still got a true in there, so no, we couldn't put it there. We need something that's not. I need to just move these across a little bit more. I can make that a bit smaller, so I can see what I've got. In there. So this changeover 1, there we go. So we've got trues there and false there. So if I actually put that to a true, i.e. an OR gate on that particular one, which, yeah, pump 1 has failed there. So if I break into that and put an OR gate in there, that's going to then count up a 1, and it's going to then put pump 2 on. Let's give it a go. You can always check it and see whether it works. So that automatically, that goes there. So we're going to take that, we're going to cut that, and we're going to put that into there, and we're going to take that true, and we're going to trigger it. And that's done nothing. That's done nothing. Let's just reset that. I'll take the fail off first. Reset. So pump 1 is enabled. We've got a true from that. Yeah, I don't think that's going to actually do that for us. Yeah, that's not going to work for us, that. So what we'll do is we'll take that back out. So that's going to change 1 over. Yeah, that's working on it. Yeah, that's not going to work for us. It's that one. Where's that one going to? There. On delay, 5 seconds, yeah, in, pump 2, 1. I reckon we take that out. I'm going to put it back to where it should be. And we take that out. don't need the OR gate, we can just use from there straight into maybe. I'd have to follow it through, but I'm just guessing at the moment, but I reckon that might work. But there again, it may not. We'll see. So, pump 1 is running. Let's fail pump 1. Emergency active. Fault. Failed. Pump 2 is not started. That's an AND gate. So that's no good to me. And that's not going to be no good to me, because we've already got a pulse there. It's right down to this equal business, isn't it? That's the issue. So we'll take that out and we'll do it another way. And we can just do it on this selected here. This probably would tidy up the logic a bit more, because we can actually take that across there. We can take that across there. And we can take that, put it into there. I want an OR gate. Take some more across. I'm going to put an OR gate there. That should do that. Tidy it up a little bit. And then we do the same, so we duplicate that. And this is going to be P2 lead. Failed. This is going to be duplicate P2 fail. Put that up to that one there. That into A. Let's do the lead failed one. So lead failed is going to be this one here. Lead failed. And then I want my OR gate, so selected, take that, cut that, put that into there, and take my selected and put into B. Okay, so pump 2's running, pump 1's failed. So let's take the fault off pump 1. Reset. Pump 1's enabled. Put fault on pump 1. Pump 2 is now enabled. Pump 1 goes off. Actions, emergency auto. Reset. Actions, set. Pump 2 lead. Pump 2 fail. Pump 1's enabled. Pump 2 disables. Actions, emergency auto. Not emergency auto, take it off. Let me just change that now. Set auto changeover, which will be the default that's being used. Reset faults. Fire. So this AND gate will never come into play now, but the OR gate will still come into play, so these falses here will never come into play. It will always be this one now, but that works. There was something else I was thinking of when I was just writing that. What would be nice to have? Yes, it was an on and off delay for the pumps. If this was a boiler pump, 2 boiler pump control, when we turn it off, we really want the pumps to run on a bit longer to clear the heat exchanger for boilers. So I would say 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but sometimes you don't need them to run on at all. So what we can actually do here is pump, no, off delay P1. And what we'll do is we'll expose the time. So off delay, we don't want the out and that there. So at the moment it's just 1 second. But we can change that then to a longer off delay. duplicate pump 2. Now what we would normally do is what we do with the first one we'll do with the second one, so all I'm going to do is take that and copy that to there, and for now I'll just put something like, I don't know, 10 seconds off delay. So when it's actually changing over as well now, both pumps will be running. So we'll do a changeover, so that's enabled. Let's fire a changeover at 11 o'clock in the morning, on Tuesday morning, I think it was. So both pumps are now running. Be it only for 10 seconds, they are both running together. So that's going to stop any interference, i.e. the plant is not going to see the pumps stopped and start throwing out alarms, because we're running both pumps at the same time, only for a brief 10 seconds, but then we can use that logic for boilers, that we can turn off the pumps. So basically this pumps on and off here. When you switch your boilers off, that would normally go off, but what we're doing, what will happen now, sorry about that, bloody background thing running there. Anyway, yeah, what we can have a situation where that turns itself off for the boilers, so the boilers turn off but the pumps carry on running, and you can set that to say 5 minutes, and it would just get rid of all the excess heat in the heat exchanger. I think that is it. We're going to call that a day, so wait for the next video. Bye.